Have you ever felt that empty feeling in your chest? Like no matter what you do, it only gets worse. It's heavy, isn't it? A kind of emptiness that no amount of things, people, or achievements can fill. But let me tell you something, it doesn't have to stay this way. No matter how heavy it feels, there's a way out. Even in the darkest moments, there's a light. Today, I want to speak directly to you who feel this way. That light you're looking for isn't somewhere out there. It's deep inside you. I'm here to share lessons that go beyond just words. Powerful ideas that can bring hope even when everything feels lost. These teachings can help you find meaning where there was only emptiness. Stoic principles have the power to change your life in ways you never imagined. If you feel like the pain is too much to handle, take a deep breath and stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a new way to turn sadness into peace, anxiety into calm, and fear into courage. I'll bring you more lessons and thoughts that could change your life. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. You won't want to miss this. Let's begin. Love your story. It's your strength. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is how important it is to take care of myself and truly respect who I am. This is what keeps us strong when everything feels like it's falling apart. It's what gives us the courage to keep going through the battles inside us. But how do we find this path? Let me share what I've learned from my own mistakes and victories. It all starts with accepting who I really am without any masks. For a long time, I tried to hide my weaknesses and pretended everything was okay. But now, when sadness comes, I let myself feel it. When anger shows up, I give it space without judging myself. I've learned that no emotion is wrong. Every feeling has a purpose. By letting myself experience them fully, I began to set myself free. Forgiving myself came naturally after that. I had to stop blaming myself for not being perfect. Yes, I've made mistakes, and so has everyone else. True freedom came when I realized guilt doesn't belong in my life unless I allow it. Why carry a weight I can let go of? When I let go of the need to be perfect, I found a peace I never thought was possible. During this journey, I discovered something deep. Forgiveness isn't just something I give to others. It's something I give to myself every single day. And self-compassion, that goes even deeper. It means looking at myself with kindness and understanding, especially in tough moments. On my hardest days, instead of criticizing myself, I allow myself to fail and make mistakes. I've learned to treat myself as gently as I would a friend who's struggling. I know I'm doing my best, and that alone is enough. This shift in how I see things has changed my life. Instead of treating imperfection as a problem, I've learned to see it as part of who I am, part of my journey. Like Marcus Aurelius said, fragility is a human trait. By accepting it, we discover our true strength. Now, every challenge I face is a chance to grow stronger and more understanding. When I fail, I don't criticize myself. Instead, I offer myself patience and care. I realize that growing up means forgiving yourself, accepting yourself, and most importantly, loving yourself, even on the hardest days. Now, I feel a peace I once thought was impossible. It didn't happen overnight. It came slowly with effort and learning. And I want you to know that this same peace is within your reach. I've been through times of insecurity, emptiness, and doubt. But over time, I saw things start to fall into place when I took the first step toward my well-being. Now, it's your turn. If you're ready to take that step, right, I'm ready to restart as your sign. Life is full of simple, magical moments. I want to show you how I've turned those moments into something meaningful, and how you can too. Believe me, when you start using these practices, everything feels new again. It all begins with moments of pure presence. For me, these moments often come at night, when the noise of the day is faded and the world feels calmer. I close my eyes, let the stillness fill my soul, and suddenly, all my worries fade away. What's left is a deep peace, as if life has paused to let me simply be. But life isn't just about being alone. It's about the connections we build. We share moments with each other. I remember a calm day when I sat on the couch next to my dad. We didn't talk about anything big, just small things and sometimes nothing at all. That peaceful silence between us spoke louder than words ever could. It was then I understood that the deepest relationships don't need big gestures or speeches. They just need presence. And then there are those small actions that touch your heart in ways you can't explain. Like a look that says, "I understand," or a hug that comforts you before you even say a word. I remember a day when, after feeling completely drained, my mom looked me in the eyes and said, "You are capable. I believe in you." Those simple words reminded me how much power the love of others holds. For a moment, it felt like everything was okay. It's in these little moments, these exchanges of energy, that life's real meaning is found. The beauty of life isn't only in big achievements. It's in the small, often overlooked things we miss when we feel lost. I recall a day when I felt tired and directionless, so I decided to go for a walk alone. It wasn't planned. I just started walking. I found myself on a quiet street where trees gave shade, and the sound of leaves rustling in the breeze felt like a gentle conversation. It was there, in that simple moment, that I realized peace isn't something far away. It's in the small details. The fresh air on your face or the calming silence when you stop and just exist. These little things, these pauses, are what nourish the soul. Like a warm cup of coffee on a cold morning, a silent hug from someone who understands you, or simply looking up at the sky and remembering that, despite everything, the world keeps turning, inviting us to live in the moment. I've chosen to value these moments every day because, even on the hardest days, they remind me that life is made of small acts of care and beauty. The present is all we truly have. Live it fully. Learning to live in the present was a hard and painful lesson, but it's one I'll never forget. A few years ago, I felt stuck in a routine that seemed endless. I was always anxious about the future and lost in memories of the past. But one day, a small voice inside me said, "You need to start living now." That was the moment I decided to stop worrying about what others expected of me and started focusing on what truly made me happy. I discovered my passion, creating and connecting with people. Making content for you became a way to give my days meaning, a way to express my true self. Instead of stressing about what others thought or chasing outside approval, I began putting my energy into what truly excited me. Simple things like writing and editing became precious moments where I felt connected to who I really was. I realized I didn't want success for fame or recognition. I wanted something deeper, a real impact on the people around me. That's when I started learning new skills. These skills didn't just help me grow. They also allowed me to make a difference in my community. Today, I've learned that living in the present means finding peace and purpose in the little choices we make every day. Even the smallest tasks, like chatting with a friend or going to the grocery store, started to feel meaningful. Little by little, I stopped seeing these moments as chores and began seeing them as chances to grow and share something of myself. Helping others, whether with a small gesture or something bigger, gave my days a whole new meaning. These experiences taught me that even small acts of kindness can make a real difference in someone's life. Over time, I learned to adapt my purpose. At first, I tried to stick to a fixed idea of who I thought I should be. But soon, I realized life is about growth. My passions and priorities changed, and that was okay. The key was staying true to myself and finding ways to contribute, no matter where life took me. As Cicero once said, "Life is like a play. It doesn't matter how long it lasts, but how well it's performed." This quote reminds me to live authentically and cherish every moment, whether big or small. In the end, when I focused on the present, reflected on what truly mattered and gave from the heart, I found a sense of fulfillment I never thought possible. Life started to feel more meaningful when I realized that even small things, when done with purpose, can fill our hearts in incredible ways. Never give up. Your greatest strength is already inside you. Who hasn't felt the pain of making a mistake or the emptiness of rejection? These moments, no matter how hard they feel, can transform us. They push us to look within and find strengths we didn't know we had. I remember working on a project that I truly believed in. It meant so much to me, and I gave it everything I had. But in the end, it didn't work out. The rejection felt like a punch in the stomach, and for a moment, I didn't know how to move forward. Instead of giving in to disappointment, I stopped, took a deep breath, and reflected. This didn't go as planned, but what can I learn from it? That's when I realized failure isn't the end. It's an invitation to grow. I started to see mistakes as hidden teachers, showing me lessons I wasn't ready to learn before. Every failure, every piece of feedback became a guide for how to do better next time. This shift in perspective changed how I saw challenges. They became steps on the path to growth. Resilience became more than just enduring pain. It became about finding strength in the struggle. And no matter how strong we think we are, we all need support sometimes. During one of the hardest times in my life, it was my friends and family who helped me through. Their support was like an anchor that kept me steady in the storm. As Posidonius said, true strength doesn't come from avoiding problems, but from facing them with courage and perseverance. In the end, resilience isn't about dodging obstacles. It's about standing back up after each fall, with more courage, wisdom, and hope. The scars we carry aren't signs of defeat. They're proof of how we faced and overcame the challenges life threw at us. Every struggle, every mistake becomes a chance to grow, and that's how we move forward, with courage and hope in our hearts. Where others see obstacles, try to find opportunities. Want to know how to turn tough times into something positive? Let me share a personal experience that changed how I see life, especially during a time when I felt completely lost. I remember when life felt like it had stopped moving. I was stuck in a boring routine, living on autopilot, doing things just to get by without feeling excited about anything. My personal life felt like it was going nowhere, and I had no motivation. It felt like I was trapped and I couldn't see a way out. But then I decided to try something different. Instead of letting that hopeless feeling take over, I began to see this hard time as a hidden opportunity. I started asking myself, what makes me truly happy? What do I love to do? These simple questions led me to explore my interests, no matter how small they seemed. This journey of discovering myself taught me that even in the darkest moments, there's always a chance to change. Sometimes, we just need to stop focusing on the problem and start noticing the possibilities around us. These small steps brought unexpected, positive changes into my life. Another important shift came in how I viewed change. Before, I saw change as something scary and unpredictable. But during this time, I started to see it as a chance to grow. In my personal life, I faced many challenges, but they became stepping stones for something greater. I remember a tough conversation with a close family member that felt like a big challenge to our relationship. Instead of letting it ruin things, I saw it as a chance to reflect on how I communicate and how I could make things better. I worked on being more open and understanding, which made our bond stronger. A quote I once read often came to my mind during this time. Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as hard work strengthens the body. Every time I face a challenge, I thought about this line and tried to see obstacles as chances to grow and become better. Now, when I look back, I see how each struggle helped shape the person I am today. So, the next time you're going through a tough time, remember this. You have an amazing strength inside you that can turn any difficulty into a golden opportunity. Learn from your experiences. Find your inner power and use obstacles as stepping stones to success. See every challenge as a chance to grow. If I can do it, you can too. One thing I've learned is to let go of what's not in my control. You can't control everything in life. An ancient Stoic proverb says, true happiness and freedom start when you realize that some things are under your control, while others are not. This wisdom, passed down through centuries, is still so important today. Why? Because in our fast-paced world, We often try to control every detail of our lives. This constant need for control can leave us stressed and frustrated, especially when things don't go as planned. The first step to true freedom is to accept what's out of your control. Think about the things that keep you up at night or make you anxious. It could be the never-ending traffic or someone's negative behavior. Once you recognize these situations and accept that you can't change them, you free yourself from the heavy burden of trying to do the impossible. For example, I used to spend hours replaying arguments with my boss in my mind, trying to figure out ways to make him understand my point of view. This endless cycle of thoughts only made me more stressed. One day, I realized I was fighting something I couldn't change. So, I decided to stop focusing on his actions and opinions, which I couldn't control, and instead worked on how I reacted. I chose to respond in a way that reflected my values and kept me calm. Focusing on what you can control is a powerful way to take charge of your life. Your thoughts and actions are in your hands, and you get to decide how to respond to life's challenges. For example, if bad weather threatens your weekend plans, instead of stressing, grab an umbrella and stay ready. If traffic gets on your nerves, use that time to listen to a fun podcast, an audiobook, or your favorite songs. These small changes can turn stressful moments into opportunities to relax and grow. Building a sense of calm is like training a muscle. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help you stay clear-headed and peaceful, even in chaos. Spend a few minutes each day observing your thoughts and emotions without judging them. This habit lets you step back from worries and find true inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. Letting go of unnecessary worries is incredibly freeing. Imagine the relief of putting down a heavy burden. When you focus your energy on what you can control, you make room for what truly matters: your values, relationships, and personal growth. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Don't wish things to happen your way. Wish them to happen the way they do, and you'll find happiness." Letting go of what's out of your control is an act of real freedom. It releases you from constant worry and anxiety, opening the door to a life that feels more genuine and meaningful. Giving back is also a key to living a fulfilling life. My life changed when I decided to join a community project. What began as a way to pass the time turned into something much deeper. I started volunteering at a support center for people in tough situations. Some were homeless, others dealing with emotional struggles, but they all needed help. What moved me most was the gratitude in their eyes. Every conversation, every small act of kindness made me realize the work was tough, but incredibly rewarding. Enthusiasm doesn't just come from big successes or grand events. It comes from small, meaningful actions that bring light to others' lives. The simple smile of someone regaining their dignity gave me new energy. It taught me that even small gestures can create immense change for others and for ourselves. Small acts of kindness are like seeds that grow into big changes. This project helped me find my passion for helping others again and inspired me to look for new ways to make a difference. Now, whether it's through my community or in my personal life, I've learned that real change starts when we feel lost or unmotivated. I encourage you to try something meaningful, whether it's helping someone in need or spending time doing what adds value to your life. When you do, you'll find a new purpose and a fresh spark of energy that lights up your path in ways you never imagined. Even when everything seems dark, there's always a glimmer of hope. Sometimes, life feels like an endless void, trapping us in pain and uncertainty. It can make us feel alone, even when we're surrounded by people. Every step feels heavy, and even breathing takes effort. It might feel like hope is gone, and we're sinking deeper. I understand that feeling. Emptiness can strike at any time, in the quiet hours of the morning or during moments of frustration. But even in the darkest times, there's always a small spark of light waiting to be found. Stoicism teaches us an important lesson. No matter how painful life gets, those challenges can help us grow. The emptiness we feel doesn't have to consume us. Instead, it can guide us back to what really matters. The secret lies in how we choose to see life and respond to challenges. Instead of giving up, we can use our pain as fuel to grow stronger. The first step is to identify what you're feeling. When we're lost, it's easy to sink deeper into confusion. But when we pause and name our feelings, whether it's loneliness, disappointment, or fear, we take back some control. Recognizing the pain doesn't mean it disappears, but it gives us power over it. It's like touching a wound. Yes, it hurts, but it's the first step toward healing. It's also important to remember that feeling empty isn't a flaw. We all face tough times. There are moments when everything feels out of control. Life isn't about being perfect. It's about being human, accepting our weaknesses, flaws, and emotions without feeling ashamed or guilty takes courage. It doesn't mean giving up on the pain, but learning to be kind to ourselves. Treating ourselves with the same care we'd show a friend going through a tough time. Remember, self-compassion isn't a weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's also important to remember that we're not alone on this journey. Loneliness may feel like a burden we carry by ourselves, but the truth is, we all go through times of emptiness, doubt, and uncertainty. Sharing our struggles with those we love and asking for help when we need it are key steps to finding light again. Opening up to others builds a support network that keeps us going when things get too hard to face alone. There's also a simple but powerful practice that can make a huge difference: focusing on the present moment. Often, emptiness comes from not living in the now, worrying about the future or regretting the past. Mindfulness encourages us to focus on what we can do right now, what we can control. It can be as simple as feeling the texture of a leaf or enjoying a sip of water. These small acts help us anchor our minds in the present, keeping negative thoughts away. Finally, to fill the emptiness, we need to reconnect with what truly gives us life: our values, passions, and purpose. Stoicism teaches us not to hold on to external things because they're temporary and beyond our control. True peace comes from within, from aligning with what we believe is important. Ask yourself, what really matters to you? Now, more than ever, you have the chance to make your life richer in meaning. The light you're searching for isn't outside of you, but within. It's found in your daily choices, in moments of self-reflection, and in the brave decisions you make, even when the way ahead is unclear. Don't wait for a big event or an outside change to happen. Transformation begins with one simple step: trust yourself. Take that first step, start now, and be kind to yourself. This journey of healing and growth is personal for everyone. As you move forward, you'll start to feel a renewal, a strength from within that will slowly fill the emptiness, turning it into something meaningful and beautiful. The most important thing is to begin, because from that moment, you'll discover that what seemed like an end is really just the beginning of something new in your life. I truly hope this conversation has been helpful to you. Congratulations for making it to the end of the video. It shows your desire to grow as a person. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment. If you're not sure what to say, just type "Wise Stoic" so I know you watched till the end. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit subscribe to join us. Stoicism is full of valuable lessons we can apply in our daily lives, so I encourage you to keep learning. I've linked another video full of Stoic wisdom for you to explore next. Click on it to continue your journey. I'll end here.